All right, what is going on, guys? Um, Sorry about we were gonna try out the YouTube live, but it we're back on Facebook. We'll get this dialed in eventually. Excuse me, same format as before. If you guys have any questions, you want to talk about anything, I'm an open book. We'll be here probably between 30 to 60 minutes. So, hey, what's up? Glad to see you back again. Um, I didn't end up getting the YouTube thing to work out, so here we are. But yeah, guys, again, we'll get the platform dialed in. You know, hopefully, think I'd have that done by the third episode, but unfortunately, it's a it's a work in progress. So yeah, for those of you who have never tuned in before, which is possible because this is only the third time we're doing this, anything you want to talk about your business. I mean, we've had some wacky fun conversations. Oh man, what's up, Hurt? Good to see you, by the way, brother. Hope you're doing well. Um, I'm not using any software currently. Uh, I'm very new to this whole like live content concept, but I want to be more engaged in the community. Having said that, I just checked out and have been recommended something called Restream.io. Looks like it's free for a bunch of stuff, and then they also have where you can add like custom channels. So for Facebook, you'd have to just you know plug the codes in and whatnot, but it looks like that's going to be a pretty viable option moving forward. Excuse me. I was gonna do YouTube live. I like YouTube. They've really restructured. We can talk about link building. I love to talk about link building. Any type of link building you want to talk about, we can talk about. I get asked a lot of sales and acquisition questions because I kind of became somewhat known, and maybe it's a fault of my own just for building a decent size agency and whatnot. But I love geeking out on SEO. We can get geeky with SEO, link building, anything, patents, algo updates, whatever. Like I like to get geeky. So I just usually get asked client acquisition and sales questions. But yeah, we'll talk about link building if you want. Anything specific you had in mind, go ahead and drop it in the box. But yeah, Herc, I'm definitely not a pro at this, but it looks like Restream could be a viable option. And I do like how YouTube redid their back end to kind of cater to live content and streaming and whatnot. Guess they saw the explosion in like Mixer and Twitch and stuff like that. But excuse me. But yeah, so check out Restream if you want, but I'm sure there's probably a better solution you could find with a little bit of investigation. I wish Facebook had a better way for me to promote like the fact that I'm going live. So it looked like it looks like, got some questions rolling in. I'll get to you guys. Welcome, Jordan. Welcome, Jesse. Good to see you guys. Appreciate you being here. But yeah, right now I have to organically get people to live view as they see, oh, hey, we're live in LCT. I tried doing an event, but I couldn't, like, there's not like I can't pre-schedule and then drop a link without software, and I'm just messing with I'm just messing with it now. No, I'm not using anything. I just came straight to I popped the Mac on, went into my group, and there was a section like where you click in your group from desktop to enter. Like if I want to make a post in a group, there's a live video option. I just click it, it comes up, and it allows me to connect to, some type of third party where it looks like I could like upload a pre-recorded video right into this, but this is live. So yeah, I'm right from the desktop, nothing fancy. Just me and a Blue Yeti, Herc. Just me and a Blue Yeti and a Mac. That's all I am, is a man with a Mac and a Blue Yeti. A black Blue Yeti, actually. It's the all black one. But anyway, it's just not relevant at all. Hey, what's going on, Armando? No problem, Herc, man. Thanks for stopping by. I'll message you. I'll message you soon, buddy. It's we need to catch up. But yeah, good seeing you. Jordan, I personally wouldn't run Money Robot directly to my site. Having said that, there's it's like a mythological creature, right? But I did hear of people doing it with success, and it's not something I would play with. I have a really streamlined, like, scalable system that works, and it doesn't, it's not extremely risky. So for me to switch over to something that's gonna just seem inherently a lot more risky isn't something I'd like to play with. Having said that, it's all about testing. We do we do use Money Robot on the second tier, and if I were to use, and this could be, I mean, there could be people that hear this that do actually use Money Robot direct. They're like, this guy's full of shit, right? And that could be true because, like I said, I don't use it direct to Money site, but I'd use the same strategy we use on the Money site to the tier 2, where we adjust the velocity so it isn't like an insane amount of links hitting it at once. And I think that's important for local SERPs anyway. And you'll hear people that say, hey, we debunk the whole velocity, the whole velocity theory where, too much is going to get you filtered. And I think that could be true. There might not be an algorithmic filter that picks it up right away, but I always try to build for like a natural, like if I get a manual review, I want to look as natural as possible. And that's why, like, I do the social signals. That's why I do try to keep control over velocity, because if someone were to just map out what type of SEO we've done to a site over time, and it's like, hey, here was a 5,000 links a month being built to this local site, that doesn't even make sense, right? Or there's no social interaction. So, I would adjust the velocity to be something really reasonable for local, where you're just dripping links in. And having said that, because of the nature of those links, the 2.0 platforms and whatnot, and the fact that it isn't high quality content, you're going to have indexation issues. You're going to have platforms just dying off. I mean, I imagine there's ways to programmatically try to prevent your platforms from getting killed off in the way you make them, and how you appear as you create these platforms or create these, sites on these platforms and whatnot. But it's still going to happen. You're still going to get sites killed off. So I wouldn't necessarily suggest it, but if you do want to play with it, I just try to keep a very natural looking velocity, and I'd play with it. I'd say, hey, if I drip in 100 links a week, only X amount are going to even index, right? So let's say 10 index or 15 index, and then out of that, within a short period of time, maybe half of those just die or the accounts get shut down or what have you. And I think a lot of that comes down to how you're building your accounts as well. I think if you're churning and burning accounts, you're going to have a higher it's going to be a lot more likely that they do get shut down or they're not going to get indexed. If you if you build a ton of accounts in a niche and you're constantly adding articles to them and building them out, it's just like the FCS training I did 3 years ago, except it's a different platform. The more you put into making the properties look real and, look like they're getting updated and what have you, then the more luck you're going to have using the strategy. Jesse asks, if a client asks if they can call a current client, what do you suggest? So I used to hate that question. Now I actually just have some clients where I'm like, hey, is it okay if I push, if people need some type of reference, I can, give you their email. I always try to do email. I think it would be really invasive just to hand a client's number out. I mean, even if they would say, hey, I'll give you a good reference, I think it'd be extremely invasive just for their phone to ring like randomly, and people want to have a conversation about the service while they're in the middle of their workday. And there's a lot you can do to make that a good experience for your current client as well, where you say, hey, I don't want you to misrepresent like the results or anything like that. I want your honest opinion, but I'm happy to help you out if you help me out. And, because you've had a good experience, if you're okay with getting some references every time you get bugged, I'll do this. You can send them a gift card or something. I mean, as long as you're not like bribing them for a good review, it's ethical in my book. I mean, that's pretty cool of them to do that. But I mean, that's something you're going to run into. And you can, I mean, you can bring an overwhelming amount of case studies and proof and rank trackers and Google Analytics, traffic trajectories, and people are still going to want to talk to someone. That's speaking to someone who already had an experience with your service is like one of the most powerful closing tactics ever. Excuse me. Another way you could probably prevent that, and this is something we're getting into more and more. If in the proposal, I'm not sure if you use like a proposal platform. Even if you don't, if you add a link somewhere to a bunch of videos where you can get your clients to make a quick video testimonial for you about your service. I mean, anyone can write a quick couple sentences and quotation marks and throw a name down, right? Like, here's my testimonial. But if you can get a bunch of customers or client, whatever, if you can get a bunch of people on video saying, hey, we use Jesse over at, insert your company, your agency name, and we had just a phenomenal experience, and we got this and we got this, and here was all just the benefits of dealing with Jesse, then that's powerful. That's really powerful social proof, and that can sometimes maybe mitigate concerns to where they're not going to want to actually bug your customers or clients or whatever and get on the phone. So, I mean, it is something you're gonna get, and it's not a completely unreasonable request, right? People want to be comfortable with the fact that they're, what the hell is that noise? Oh my God. Oh man, they're mowing my lawn. Sorry about that, guys. Hopefully that's not really loud in the mic. It's really loud in my headphones, but sorry about that. I'm terrible with my attentions, man. That was a squirrel moment for sure. For those of you just coming, I see we have some more viewers. What's up? If you guys have any questions, anything you want to talk about, we can talk about some geeky SEO stuff. You want to talk about some acquisition, specific problems in your agency. You just want to say some wacky stuff and have some fun with me, I can get down like that too. So, don't be shy. Don't be shy. Let's rock out. But yeah, Jesse, hopefully that helped, man. I mean, you're going to get that. I get that a lot. I've gotten that for years. It's nice to have people that you can say, hey, shoot this guy an email, or, have some video testimonials that might kind of mitigate their concern and prevent that altogether. Armando, embed your stream on a lander. That works. Then folks can click to get notified. Yeah, Armando, I can't. I would have to pre-schedule the Facebook Live, and it looks like I can't do that without. It looks like I'll be able to do it with Restream. I just need to play with it more and make it happen. But that's and plus it wants me to do it from the page. And I hate doing stuff from the page. I like doing stuff right from in the group, but I'll figure it out. And in the meantime, I'm just going to go live probably right in the group, and we'll pick up organic viewers as they come, and we'll just make the best of it and have a good time. And Dan asks, how do you feel about Webflow? That's not ringing a bell. What is Webflow? What does it do? It's not ringing any bells right now, unfortunately. But Jordan says, yeah, been testing on a website, been getting good results. But yeah, you're right about manual review. Last question before bed. If we were to build quality links, not including citations, are PBNs the only option? Hey, what's up, Danny, Amir, chat? What's going on, guys? Yeah, Jordan, so keep testing. I mean, like I said, I heard through the grapevine there was some people doing really well using Money Robot direct to the site. There's just some things to consider, and I'm not going to sit here and do the holier than thou, like, hey, that could get your site in trouble. I mean, sure, any type of link building can, right? So if you get a system down for it, rock out, man, and that's awesome. If we were to build quality links, not including citations, or PBNs only option, absolutely not. I mean, you can get PBNs that are pretty quality too, so keep that in mind. But we try to make any link that we build higher quality, right? So if you're doing a lot of stuff with local, you know, and I actually have like a mini training I'm launching on this. You guys, it'll be a Webby, and it's like a pre warm up thing for the lab, to be honest. I mean, that's what it is. But I talk a lot about like geofying. I know that's not a real word, but you know, for local clients, there's a lot you can do to a link to improve the quality of it, and add some geo specific content. Just add some content. A lot of people build links with like they MVP it, like the minimum viable product. Like, you know, we do as little as we can possibly to just get a live hyperlink back to a money site. And, you know, that's the stuff that doesn't index. It's the stuff that falls out of index. So the more you can do to improve the link in general in that respect, you can add your NAP, your name, address, phone number, and make it an unstructured citation. Some platforms allow you to embed maps. I mean, there's just so much you can do, and you can take any link and, you know, to that next level if you just you throw together some SOPs that just have your link builders kind of being, you know, doing a little bit more work instead of just making an account, getting a hyperlink, and jumping to the next one on the list, right? So, excuse me. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm going to get a drink. My voice is still a little whacked out. I have no idea why. Sorry about that. That did not help. I might have actually made it a bit worse. Okay. But yeah, there's also a lot of, so there's a few different kinds of guest posts you can get. You know, there's actually like real outreach where you can, you know, actually reach out to sites, and you can create custom lists based on your, you know, your money site or your client site. And it's usually not viable in local SERPs just because the budget, it doesn't really make sense. It's hard to maintain any type of respectable profitability. But then there's the other type of guest posting, which is more like database guest posting. And that's what most of these vendors are selling. And I made a comment the other day, and I didn't mean to like bash those guys, because those work great. I use them. But that's basically sites that just openly accept guest posts. They're very low barrier of entry. If you ask 10 or 20 guest post vendors for lists, they're going to have lists, and the lists are almost all identical. And that's okay. They can be really powerful. And then once you get that inner link, you can actually boost that by building, whether it's Money Robot, cheaper PBNs, high quality PBNs. You can push juice through that internal page and get some good results. And, you know, you have a lot of control. In a lot of cases, you know, your guest post vendor will charge you a little bit at $10-15 to write the article. But I mean, you could go to, you know, one of these guys that do like really great articles, whether it's Shalev or Joe or Jedediah. You know, you can go and get like a really nice $20 article and submit it, and have a lot of really, you know, good information. A lot of times they're not going to fight you if you want to embed a map or video. You can do a lot to really improve that link. It's just if you want to take the extra steps to do it and spend a little bit more money. And then we have like the bottom tier, which is more like glorified Web 2.0s. And you'll see a lot of those guest post vendors selling those links as well. And they're sold as quote unquote guest posts. But I mean, realistically, they're Web 2.0s. You can go and make a free account and start posting. It's just a lot of people, they don't make a lot of Web 2.0 lists, so they're not like overly saturated. So people are still selling them as guest posts. Those things can work freakishly well, where people say, hey, Web 2.0s are dead. It's like, they can be. You just, they can be dead. Any link building can be dead if you're going to be a lazy link builder, right? So that would be my suggestion, where just your general links, it doesn't matter if it's a profile, if it's a citation, just your general links, you can do so much to make them more relevant, increase the indexation rate, increase the stick rate in the public public cache. There's a lot you can do there. And then on the other hand, you can go after some of these maybe database guest posts, or these, you know, super 2.0s that they're not quite as saturated. They still have a little bit more value. They're a little bit more expensive. And, you know, if you were to buy from a vendor, but you can just find these sites, create accounts, and produce content. And again, if you're boosting the stuff, you can do a lot of really, really quality link building without having to, 100% rely on PBNs, and not that I'm against that, but people should know there's a lot of other options out there, right? So hopefully that helps. And good night, brother. I know you're over there in Australia. Have a good sleep. Chat, hey man, do you happen to offer any sort of consulting? So the C word, I always thought like that was a very ugly word, just because I know it's like real life. I know so many people that color themselves as consultants, and really it almost is like the thing, like if you can't do, you teach. And that's not true across the board. I'm not trying to, take shots at anyone that teaches. I teach. I love teaching and helping people. But, people that are strictly consultants, they always left kind of a bad taste in my mouth. And I've dealt with them pretty intimately. One of our biggest referral partners is a consultant. And, years ago when we first worked with him, I was like, wow, what's this guy get paid for? And I've since helped him a lot, and he helped me a lot. So it is what it is. But I don't do hourly phone calls. Those things are soul sucking. And I always, so I did a few, right? Like I have done them before, but I hate doing them because first off, if people want to book like an hour, right? And there's only, like, I don't like putting a value on my time just because of how finite your time is. But then, like, I need to make sure, because I'm not a cheap date, right? So I need to make sure I blow people's mind, because it's not just, oh, I'm going to talk to Mark. It's like going to cost a bunch of money, right? Like you need to make sure you get something very valuable out of that phone call, so it makes it worth it. So that means I'm usually preparing before the call, doing research and getting ready for the call. And that usually means I'm going to do some type of follow-up as well. And I start to people don't necessarily expect that, but I just start to over deliver, because it's like, man, it's kind of expensive for an hour of my time. So what I was thinking about doing, and this is 100% conceptual, I talked to a few people about it, but I was going to actually do something where if people want to come out to my office, we'd actually spend maybe 2 working days together, and we could just whiteboard their business and just do some next level stuff together, like in person. And it wouldn't be a small group thing. It would just be another person and me. I was contemplating doing something like that. I think that'd be a really cool experience, just because I've had a lot of people come out to my office over the years from LCT, whether I was working with them or, I just had people that are like, hey man, I'm in the area. And it's like, let's meet up, and I was thinking about doing something like that. So I guess the short answer is no, I don't have like a formal consulting program at the moment. I'm not sure if I ever will have something like traditional consulting, but I am thinking about doing some like in-person stuff. And I just feel like that would have a major impact on someone's business, where you can actually get belly to belly. And for me, there's just a lot of belly to get belly with. So, so that's something to consider. But, we just get face to face, and we can, I laugh at my own jokes. So what? But, we can get face to face and whiteboard stuff out. And, I think it would be a lot more impactful for everyone, rather than like an impersonal phone call. And then it's like, man, I need like 20 phone calls. Can understand that. In person would be sweet. I'm originally from Jersey. Oh, that's cool, man. Down in Florida, I travel back frequently, though. Yeah, I mean, it's something I'm kicking around, man. I think it would be, like, my end goal is, I mean, of course, anyone in the world wants to make a couple bucks. I mean, it's not a bad thing. But at the end of the day, I'm not sure. I mean, how many phone calls would it take to equate to, like, just 16 or 20 hours of in-person, just whiteboarding, laying out, like organizing stuff in docs together, like just some, like an intensive work experience. Like I don't think there's a number of phone calls that could beat that. So I am kicking that around, but super busy right now until the lab launches. So like I said, I don't have anything formal, but I might gauge interest and somewhere sometime soon. But thanks for asking. Agency is blowing up. I'm still one-man show with some VAs and people I outsource to, tools and whatnot, etc. Planning on expanding to triple clientele. Need sales and also need fulfillment, but need to keep overhead low. What do you recommend the route I go to hire? Sales first, then fulfillment? One in-house fulfillment employee, or find some Filipinos? Okay, really solid question. I'm glad you're in a position you're ready to triple your business. That's a very respectable goal. I think I talked about this, might even talked about this a little bit yesterday, so I'll be kind of quick because I talk about this stuff a lot. But the best system you'll ever create is a hybrid system where you actually have an office somewhere. It could be the Philippines. It could be, I know a guy that runs a pretty impressive shop in India, and people that do some pretty cool stuff in Central and South America. You know, it just depends on you, right? So, and it's location agnostic, right? I mean, you can go anywhere. I guess that's the point I was trying to make. Not saying you have to concentrate on those 3 locations, but you know, I'd have some type of office set up there, and I'd have a management structure there. I'd have a management hierarchy. I'd have everything you need there, and I'd have an employer manager, you know, right beside you that would kind of quality control, do a lot of the client-facing activities, stuff like that. You know, as far as scaling sales and fulfillment, it really depends on your model. So we work with some people that scale sales first, and then they'll actually use white label, you know, to you know, kind of fulfill until they can stop and say, okay, we reached this type of level. We can go back and we can start building these teams and wean ourselves off of the need for white label, right? Which is, I mean, it's sad to see them go, but it's awesome to see them grow. Hey, that rhymed. That was fancy. That was fancy. You see what you guys get with these lunch hours, man. This is too much. Too legit to quit, baby. But but yeah, that's something to consider. It's you could always white label until you're in a pitch. Thank you, Robert. You could always white label until you're in a position to grow. You know, one of the biggest mistakes I made, I think, was over investing in my fulfillment infrastructure before I scaled sales. And even to this day, I do a lot of my own sales, and that's, I don't, it's soul, it can be soul sucking. I'm good at sales and whatnot, you know, but I still find myself from time to time having to do sales calls. So, that's, you know, food for thought. I guess it depends what your competency is, right? For me, I was always good at sales. I could convert very well on the phone, and I had a good system in place, so it made sense to invest heavily into my fulfillment infrastructure, right? But, you know, everyone's different, so that would be my advice, though, man. Go hybrid. It's going to change your life, I promise. It did ours. Y'all having good results using Cloudflare to convert some of your sites to SSL. What else are you using to convert sites to SSL that it's free or lower cost? That's a cool question. We actually, I'm going to be no help here because we actually do it programmatically now. And we use, what did we wire into? Oh, man, I don't even remember what we wired into, man. I'll get back to you on that. I'll comment on this thread after the live video is over. I can't even remember the name now. But we wired in, and we do our SSL programmatically now. So that's a big help. I do know that I'd be careful because there's different levels. You're a mess, Willie. Sorry, there's different levels of encryption. So be careful, like for you guys that are on like maybe like a GoDaddy hosting and you grab an SSL cert from GoDaddy, there's different like tiers of encryption, and Google only recognizes, you know, the one as being legit, and then the second will give you like false positives, so it'll work sometimes and sometimes it won't, and the other just isn't respected by Google at all. So that's, you know, that might just convolute your life a little bit more. That might have been more harm than good, but that's something to consider as well, as there's different levels of encryption from the certs. So, you know, you need to make sure you're going to get a cert that is a little bit higher quality. So keep that in mind for the free options and the lower cost stuff. Daniel, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. Been a while. What's up, Mark? What kind of reporting do you do for your clients? How often? How automated, customized? How often do you send the ranking reports? This is really cool. I actually had I I had an interview last night with a gentleman from Status Quo. I can't remember. Really cool guy. He's in the group. But we chatted on his podcast, and he asked me something similar. And Let's Encrypt. Yeah, Let's Encrypt is Let's Encrypt's a good option, and that is definitely free. I am pretty sure that uses the proper tier of encryption too. I'll have to check. I'm a little sloppy on that stuff. I ignored that for the longest time because I was like, Google's not going to tell me what to do. I don't collect any like billing information, right? I don't collect people's like credit card numbers on my site. I don't need that level of encryption. And then Google's like, it was like the scene from Friday. If anyone ever saw that movie, I was like, Google can't, you know what I mean? But like, Google can't tell me what to do. When they walk away, I won't be using SSL certs again, but I am now. So, yeah, I guess Google ended up telling me what to do. But, oh, yeah, I just had this, yeah, exactly, Joe. Then Google was like, "You're my bitch." That's 100% true. Like I was like, "You can't tell me what to do, Google. I'm not using the HTTPS protocol, anything around here." And then now I'm just, we're getting SSL certs for everything. But sorry, Daniel, I got off track. That happens here. It was Willie's fault. He made an extremely inappropriate comment. But so my biggest thing is a lot of people think you need a lot of client management for a small amount of clients, and in some cases that can be true. So if you're selling a more boutique service, right, where you're charging $5,000 or $10,000 a month, it's going to be really difficult for you to avoid having any like hands-on, interaction with that client or your managers in this case, or whoever's doing your client management. So that's something to consider. But when you're working with lower level clients and even the bigger ones, there's a lot you can do. So for instance, if you go in, whether you use Google Analytics, a lot of rank trackers offer it now, Ravens tools, Agency Analytics might. I think most of the reporting tools suck, and I'm going to disrupt that space one of these days in the next few months, hopefully, at least to some extent, because like I'm so disappointed in like the level or lack of automated reporting in the industry. But a lot of those you can mix and match, and you can have it send reports on different days or whatever. You can give them client logins and stuff, and that's helpful as long as you don't overwhelm them with information to where they're going to have 100 questions. Then it's gonna help you more than hurt you. Having said that, keep organized inside of your agency. When someone does have questions, like make sure your client manager, whoever that is, make sure when you give them a link to schedule a call, I want to give them a number, just a live call. That's too much. But I'd give them a link, and I'd make sure you only do client calls like 1 week per month. And I'd also set the scheduling to 30 minutes, because I know everyone listening right now has been here where you get on the call with a client and they just start chat boxing, right? Their mouth's running like a duck's ass in water. Hopefully you appreciate that. I think my grandma used to say that. Sorry, I'm just entertaining myself. But I mean, they'll talk and talk and talk. They'll be a complete vampire, right? They'll time suck. And if you have that you set the expectation beforehand where they go in and to book the appointment and it's only a 30-minute block, you automatically limit it to 30 minutes. Now, consider this. I mean, even if you're doing 4 hours worth of calls per day, or your manager anyway, in an 8-hour period, I mean, you're going to knock out 8 client calls per day. That's 40 calls in a week. So that's essentially 40 clients that can get on the phone with an account manager within 1 week, and that's only one manager. If you have 2 managers, you can handle 80 client calls that week. And consider templatizing everything. Follow-ups, throw them in an autoresponder. Because if you're following my advice or a lot of other people's advice that tell you to like productize and like build to sell, even if you don't want to sell, it's really important to build to sell, because your business will be scalable, your processes will be repeatable. But if you're following that, then you already know what you're doing month 1. for clients across the board. There's going to be a lot of things you're going to do for every single client every single month, right? Or month 2 is going to look identical across the board. There's going to be a lot of things that are identical. So you can pre-make these templatized reports where you're sending out on an autoresponder schedule. Keep a really organized CRM. I feel like so many people in this industry don't keep a CRM, and I go into less technologically sophisticated industries, and their CRM game's like 100 times better than most SEOs, and that blows my mind. Because CRMs are extremely powerful, not just from the automation you can trigger, like Active Campaign has some really cool automation that can trigger from a CRM, or from, moving people through a pipeline or what have you through a process or a path. But, just having things where it's like, hey, we're going to enter our client's birthday. If you're doing like any type of customer for life programs, and you can have your client's birthday in there, and then that every time that pops up, your account manager can jump over to bond.co or whatever and get a birthday card handwritten and sent out for $5, right? Little stuff like that where it's just I'd say an organized CRM. Make a bunch of reporting templates up ahead of time. Throw them in an autoresponder so that stuff is hands off, and then make sure you consolidate client calls into 1 week out of the month, and they can book 30-minute conversations with your account manager. And those things right there will make you scalable as heck. Just go back to what I said. 2 account managers can handle 80 calls in a week, assuming they do 4 hours worth of calls per day. That means they do 30 minutes, they have a 30-minute break. 30 minutes, 30-minute break. That's insane. And no one would ever imagine that 2 account managers could handle 80 client calls in 1 week. And it's just keeping things concise. And plus, humans like patterns. We're creatures of habit. So the more structured you make an account manager's life, the happier they're going to be, the more efficient they're going to be. They know week 1 they work on, this. Maybe they're in the CRM, or they're building more automations. They're adding another piece to the customer for life program. Maybe week 2 they're actually ordering gift baskets and sending gifts and stuff like that. Maybe week 3 they do the client calls. Week 4 they go and add new people to the reporting, whatever. I mean, it's arbitrary, but if you build your process like that, you'd be surprised what a few account managers can handle. So hopefully that helps, man. Mohammed, what's up? Hi, I'm new to this group and trying to find my way around. I'm looking to find out about the map overtake plan. I'd like to find cost and course URL. So you're looking for the map, local map takeover. What do we have there? Brian always makes his course names so cool. So there we have a bit of a dated maps training in LPB. I want to join. I just hold off on that. We're doing away with the monthly. We have a one pay. I guess you call it like a lifetime pay, but it's you pay once and access the content. And Brian does have updated maps training on the way for that. I just added a bunch of my agency course into that. So, I imagine what you're looking for is in there. Now, Brian used to have a Maps Agency Black, and that's the one you've probably heard about recently. A lot of people have been giving it glowing reviews. I don't think that's open right now. I think he closed that it was like an indefinite close. I think it probably open like next year, but I don't know. Sorry, I couldn't help a little more. But there's a lot of cool maps content for free though, man. You don't need to necessarily pay a dime. Check out the Local Client Takeover blog and check out the web20ranker.com blog. Dude, there's so many cool little map strategies and stuff to help with maps between those two. I'd start there, man. Just start with some free stuff and consume that and work up from there. But thanks for being a part of the group, and I'm glad to have you. Brian, Willie, that's not true. I'm not even saying that. People can see that after this is over. I'm not repeating your craziness. Joe Anderson just wrote Chiefs in all caps. I'm assuming he's talking about the Kansas City Chiefs, what's their record looking like these days, Joe? I know they have a big fat loss from the best team in the freaking world, but I don't know too much more about them. Benjamin, what's up, buddy? Hey, Barry, good to see you, man. You did kind of make it. You actually made it plenty of time. You'll catch the whole second half. Thanks for dropping in, dude. Benjamin, so what CRM do you recommend? You're not the same as us, Joe. I didn't ask for the numbers. You took an L to us. You could never be the same as us. I'm just teasing. Yes, I know. You guys are definitely beasts. But sorry. I like football and I like Joe. One day Joe will realize that the dream team is waiting for him and he can become a fan and a member of the cool club. But until then, he's going to like the Kansas City Chiefs, so we can't do anything to help him. CRM-wise, I love Active Campaign. You can do a lot of cool stuff with that. We're using Pipedrive for some stuff. I like that. I like the lead decay. Really like anything where you can set lead decay and say, hey, if this isn't done within 1 day or 2 days, it's going to decay. You're going to get a notification. Active Campaign's just always kind of my go-to, but yeah, we have used Pipedrive. We've used a bunch of them, but I'd say between Pipedrive and Active Campaign, and you'll probably find people who say, hey, I use such and such and I love it. So there's a lot of great CRMs out there. You just have to find one that's going to fit with what you're doing. Some people, like if you have a bunch of clients, none of them are in a CRM, and you want to start getting more organized, Active Campaign might be kind of overkill. So go ahead and try a couple out and see what floats your boat. Some of the stuff might be a bit overkill, but there comes a time when you can graduate to the level of having an autoresponder and CRM in one, and setting up automation based on different customer paths and stuff, and that becomes a lot of fun in a really geeky way. Jesse said, did the new LPB training and access get sent out? Not yet, man. So Dee, she's our LCT employee, she handles LCT stuff on the side. She had to go out for surgery last week. She is back. She's fine. It's not serious. It was like a gallbladder thing. But that kind of pushed us back a little bit. We're scrambling to get some lab stuff done, so we're going to try to get the LPB stuff done like end of next week. But again, anyone that's a lifetime member is automatically in. If you paid for over 6 months, we'll grandfather you in. If you're on a monthly plan at all, we're going to give you a massive couponing because we are shutting the monthly down. We'll give you a massive coupon if you want to jump on. If not, it's okay. I understand. And we're going to be running shop a little differently. I already have about 20 of my agency videos in there. I'm doing an omni-channel marketing, client acquisition module. Brian has new maps. There's a lot of new training scheduled and on the way. It's the lab stuff kind of pushed us back, but I did get new videos in, and there is a new members area and stuff. We'll get that out to you guys probably end of next week, and I'll make a post about that today as well, because that's 100% my fault. I set the expectation that we would have already done that, so I'm sorry about that, but we are a bit behind. Dwayne, what's up, buddy? Glad to see you. Joe, you're ruining my structured morning gift schedule with these Webbies. That's the whole idea. I want to essentially run 24-hour Webbies just so we can prevent some of the gifts you've been using. Tommy said, can't wait for it. What's this training plan you're talking about? Where do I find more info about that, please? Mohammed, that's a pre-existing thing. We had LPP. We're restructuring a bit. We'll make a big announcement about that when it's ready. Okay, Mrs. Roethlisberger, you got me. I'm just jelly. Dude, I would be so lucky to be Mrs. Roethlisberger. No, I'm kidding. That guy's washed up, man. We need a new quarterback. I love him. He's a legend, Hall of Famer. But, we need some new blood there. Dwayne said, curious about your strategies for using keyword trackers to manipulate keyword data in Search Console/analytics. Currently, I use trackers to seed Search Console analytics with thematic keywords to build relevance, then follow up with some Web 2 articles with contextual links pointed back to clients' brand Web 2.0s, Web 2s. Curious to know what your strategies are when you're talking about releasing a plugin back in January, May this year after discussion you have with your developer. I hope this makes sense. Yeah, absolutely. So what we found, and this isn't necessarily groundbreaking, what we found was, actually it's not it might have been more groundbreaking then, but now it's been talked about so much that it's not. Basically, we started noticing the massive shift in how Google serves results based on proximity. And, it's not necessarily just, sorry, I had a squirrel moment because someone just posted something. Oh, sorry, Jesse. Well, no, sorry, Dwayne. I saw it, Jesse. I'll say something about that in a second. I'm the worst. But yeah, we started noticing more and more stuff with proximity-based results, and we started. It might not necessarily be an innovative concept. We just saw it started working better than ever, and that's when people can search for certain things, and they're going to get. It might not be a local specific search, but they might get served something based on just where they are, and there's other things, there's other businesses or services in that area that serve that need, if that makes sense. So basically we were just doing I guess you would call it affiliate marketing on the local level. And we were just leveraging the fact that Google's continuously strengthening its proximity-based results and serving stuff based on location rather than just, based on how many links are placed to something or, typical rank metrics that we look at. They're serving stuff more and more based on proximity-based things. So we were making these affiliate sites, and we were making them hyper local, and they generate money. So basically what I was doing, I was going to make we had a plugin being made that I was going to just pretty much show people how to do affiliate stuff on the local level. And, then we were actually plugged up with some big, affiliate people. And I was basically going to say, hey, you guys can do this too. And the plugin was going to build it for you. And you basically just threw it on there and ranked it, and you would have got payouts and stuff. But the plugin never, we moved on to bigger and better things. That was a disaster. But the concept still rings true, and I mean we still do it. We make a bunch of sales from it. My one buddy actually does really well. His site was doing $10,000 a month, just local affiliate. So yeah, that's basically the gist of that. I wanted to throw a cool free tool out and just kind of showcase the concept and have people build these sites and be able to monetize them through this plugin without without going through the riffraff of finding offers and stuff. Damn it, I'm losing my voice. Give me 1 second, guys. Sorry about that. And yeah, Jesse, if that would happen, we'll get you a refund. So don't worry about that. We'll get you taken care of. Righty. Well, guys, I think I hit every question. I know yesterday I missed some. I felt bad. Yeah, I think I hit every question. So, and then I'm losing my voice. So there's no better time to wrap this one up. I appreciate everyone that came out. I don't know if I'm going to do this every single day, but I do enjoy doing this, and it seems to get a pretty decent response. It's good for the group engagement and stuff, and I enjoy hanging out with you guys. So we'll probably be doing it daily, at least for some time, unless I have some scheduling conflicts. I'll let you guys know. But thanks again for everyone that came out. Appreciate your questions. Hopefully you got some value from it, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. See ya.